Welcome to another exciting episode of the $1 Million Peddlers. I'm Papergoy.
And I'm Mr. Magazine.
And actually, the idea for this video came from 1987 Ventures, watches our channel regularly, and had put up on Instagram something that she had pulled out of a garage sale that she was going to keep for herself. And I said, geez, sounds real familiar. Not that I pull things out of garage sales because I don't generally go to them, but I go around to various places and pick things up, and they end up in the collection room. And I'm fairly sure the same thing happens with you, Mr. Magazine.
Absolutely.
What do you end up keeping out of collections for yourself?
As far as specifics or percentage or?
Well, however you want. I was thinking more just, general.
Yeah, I mean, when it's comics and toys, definitely I'm probably taking 10-20% of the stuff. Anything Batman, Spider-Man, Star Wars, if I don't have it, and who knows, I probably have 5 of some things. I don't realize I have 5 of some things, but, it is what it is. Someday down the road I'll sort through it, and just like you with your stuff, and we'll have some extra piles of stuff we can sell and make some extra loot.
It's actually very funny that you said that. You hold that thought.
Okay.
What brought this up was I had purchased a lot of things, and there were a fair number of things in the lot, so I knew I was going to make some money. But one of the things that was in a lot were 6 international photo something or other. I remember the last word, syndicate or something like that. But they were 1940s photos, except they were on cardstock with names on the side, almost like they were going to a binder of baseball players.
Oh, wow.
And I've never seen those before. And so I spent 15-20 minutes doing research after I got home. I could figure out they're from the 1940s. And a few people had a couple of them up on eBay, none of the ones I had. And they were asking $10 to $20 a piece on them. Something rather like that. And I got 6 of them.
Okay.
And I put them in the collectibles room. And it got me thinking, to anybody out there that collects, isn't your collection, it isn't exactly a death pile because it's not sitting there rotting.
Right.
But as you said, it's a pile that will be listed at some point.
Yeah.
All you're doing in the short term or midterm is storing it in a different room.
It's like sitting on stock. For the stock market.
Really, you're just storing it in a different room. What is the difference between, and I don't know how many items were in the lot I bought. Say there were 100 items I bought in the lot.
Yeah.
I'm going to list 30, 40 of them.
Right.
Those 6 went in the collectibles room. The other, how many ever I said in there, 54 of them, just go in a pile somewhere that eventually I'll come across and figure out how to sell. So, I guess, what is your theory on the collection and on putting stuff into your own collection?
Well, I think about this all the time because I can see these piles in the back of my shop and going up the stairs, and we just cleared the stairs out because it was full of hundreds of boxes that blocked it, and the fire marshal came in. But anyways, I look at it like, well, why sell this stuff now? Because I'm more attached to it when I have 500,000 other items. When I sell all those other 500,000 other items, then it's time to sell that stuff. The problem is, I think if I ever sold all those 500,000 items, I probably would retire.
And probably would buy more stuff for the collection.
Exactly.
You'd have extra money.
Fill up 2 stairs, whatever. But yeah, absolutely.
And that's absolutely hilarious because that's exactly the way that I look at the collection as well. I say I want to sell the entire collection. I also want to sell all 40,000 unlisted items that I have in the house. Let me list those 40,000 items and anything new that comes in, and item 40,001 will be something from the collection.
Yeah.
Now, like you as well, and I think anybody that gets a collection that doesn't have a lot of time to passionately go over their collection on a regular basis, you end up with duplicates, triplicates, 4 or 5. If all of a sudden I buy a box out of comics, and there's some comics that I collect, Classics Illustrated, Sergeant Rock, Uncle Scrooge, things like that I collect, I may have 3 copies of number 27 of Uncle Scrooge. I don't know, but if I'm at a sale and somebody's got it for $1, I'm buying copy number 4 because I don't know the condition of the other 3. I don't even know if I have the other 3 necessarily. I'm just like, hey, this is a 50s comic book in decent shape for $1. I can't go wrong with it.
Right.
I buy it and I bring it home. Eventually, the theory is that I'm going to sort those all out, and I'm going to take the 3 lesser condition ones of number 27 of Uncle Scrooge, and sell them.
Yeah.
Is the theory. So it's kind of funny, and do comment down below if you do collect anything, and if you kind of look at it the same way that we do. I guess when you get right down to it, well, let me ask one other question.
Sure.
Generally, are you spending a lot specifically on your collection?
No, because it's part of, whatever lot you buy. It's thrown in. It could be 50 cents, $1, $2, and unless you're buying something specifically that's 1977 Han Solo unopened or something, that's a different story. But yeah, when you're buying big deals, they're throw-ins, and you don't even figure that price into it. So it's like a free money down the road. Yeah,
right. Exactly. You're putting it away in the bank, and the other way that I look at it is, and again, I'll just use the Uncle Scrooge 27 as an example. It's selling for, in mid-grade, $10 to $15 right now. I'm expecting, I don't know, I haven't looked it up, but I'm thinking it's a $10 to $15 comic book.
Yeah.
20 years from now, if I get to listing it, it's not going to be less than $10 to $15.
No, right.
It probably will still be $10 to $15. And I realize, time value of money, et cetera, et cetera. Yes, it'll be worth less than that as far as real dollars go. But I've got other stuff to list, and I have, get pleasure of having had it put it in there.
Sure.
The other side of that coin is there are times, especially you get into the superheroes and all that kind of stuff, that it might be a $75 comic book now. 20 years from now, it might be a $800 comic book.
Yeah, true.
You have no idea whatsoever where prices are going to go on something or other like that. Uncle Scrooge, it's not going to happen on.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen on Classics Illustrated. It's not going to happen on the Adventures of Big Boy that I collect. Those are going to be worth what they're worth. But the few superhero things that I have or that I come across, those may actually appreciate as time goes on.
Or wait till COVID 2.0 where everything doubles again.
There you go. Maybe this time I'll actually sell stuff. I should be set up to sell stuff. But so I wanted to thank 1987 Ventures just for the idea, because I've been thinking about that an awful lot, mainly because I go into the collectibles room, dude, it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
Because stuff comes in, and we'll take those 6 cards, for example, that I just mentioned. They literally went on top of a pile. I'll find them in a couple of years when I end up sorting stuff, and I'll say, where do these come from? What are these? And I'll even forget what they are by that point.
Sure.
So reference this video, and I'll remember. But you've picked up a few cards for me through, recently for stuff. They're in a pile somewhere, and so on. But again, they're money in the bank, and if I ever absolutely need money, I could go into the collectibles room and start selling stuff out of there.
Sure.
And again, I don't see why I would, given that I have 40,000 other items, but you absolutely never know.
Yeah.
So hopefully that lets you look at your collection in a different light. A lot of people do pull things out along the way as they're going, things that catch their eye, things that, oh, this is really neat, really interesting. All you're doing is putting it on a different pile. Realistically, that's truly all that you're doing, unless it's one of those situations where your child is into collecting and you're going to pass it down, which is great if that happens. Or you've got some world-class collection of some kind and you're going to donate it to a museum, which, God bless you, that's also an awesome thing to do. But 99.9% of us with 99.9% of our collections, you're just storing it on a different pile than the box in your garage. It happens to be a box in a different room. Yeah. So if you look at it that way, that realistically is what's happening, because we all have to get rid of this stuff at some point. As they say, you can't take it with you, and you don't want to burden your family with it, because they wouldn't know how to get rid of it, and they'd end up selling it for 10 cents on a dollar, if even that much. So do hit the like button if you could, and we will see you next video.
Take care. Bye-bye.